Let's talk about adventure. So, essentially, I was contemplating my life the other day, and I was realizing that the moments where I'm usually the happiest revolve around two things. Those things are freedom and adventure. When I feel like I'm free and I feel like I can go on cool adventures, that's like my peak of, I guess, happiness. And that was a really interesting insight. So for the last 3 months, I've lived like a really normal life. Like I've sort of gone on a couple of dates, I've worked a 9 to 5, I've basically eaten normal food, had a routine, had weekends, so on, so on. It's been really normal. Nothing really interesting's happened. So I've went from a really interesting time of traveling for 3 months, and now I've got a really sort of dull period of living in a city and just not that I'm bored, it's just that things repeat themselves. So I want to go into how I think adventure and freedom for masculine beings is like the most important thing. And they're both essential. I've always known freedom was important, but now it feels like adventure is also important. Feels like if you want to be a man, you have to have goals, and those the adventures, I guess, attaining them, it's getting to a certain point. I think this is okay at the start of your life. Sort of the path's paved for you, I guess. You begin, you get some sort of education, you get a job, you have a family, you have some kids, and you die. So there's a default narrative that a lot of people follow. I think what is a challenge is when you start to divert from what most people would deem to be normal, because people will judge you, I guess, for better or for worse. People in your life that love you even can sometimes judge your decisions if you want to do things a little bit differently than how the masses do them. And if you're more divergent in the way you think, then that's going to become a more and more common problem as you grow. And it's very hard, I guess, to make that leap into becoming who you truly are, to you truly want to be, because that's really difficult. There's a whole period like growing pains of trying to change your identity and changing, and everyone around you sees you change, and some people don't want you to change. So adventure is key. For me, that's been traveling. So I had all these awesome experiences. I was traveling South America, going to beautiful places, meeting amazing people, going on amazing dates. It was essentially like, awesome friendships, awesome romances, going and seeing amazing things. I'm a martial artist, so like training with local people. I trained in Mexico, I trained in the Dominican Republic, I trained in Colombia with all like the local sort of people. That was awesome. I was almost like hanging out with Mayans for a while out in the Mexican jungle. I was going on hikes all the time. I was meeting amazing people. I met this girl and like went on a day trip with her all through like the Colombian countryside. All these awesome things. And I just look back on these experiences and I think, how cool is it that I was doing all this amazing stuff? So I've sort of had both extremes. I was just novelty every day. And I think if you travel for a long period of time, people that have could sort of maybe agree with this, that you sort of become overstimulated after a while and it becomes just sort of normal. And then if you're at home all the time, the same thing, you sort of get overstimulated and things become normal. So like everything in life, I think there has to be a sweet spot where you have some sort of normal life, but there's also some interesting stuff going on. And I think the best way to do that is through, I guess, adventure. It's through not just traveling for the sake of traveling, but traveling with some kind of goal or having some kind of experience or wanting to achieve something out of your trip. So for me, I guess the next one I want to do, well, there's a couple, but one of them is reconnaissance. So I'm sort of becoming increasingly interested in Southeast Asia as a place where I could maybe live one day. So I'm traveling Southeast Asia, but now there's sort of a goal. It's like, would I want to live here? Is there a place in Southeast Asia where I could see myself settling down and having a family? Or would I want to do that here in Australia? So I'm finding Newcastle, imagine you playing a video game. Newcastle's like a tutorial area. That's sort of how I'm seeing it. It's like a place to come and rest. It's like a sanctuary to rest and heal and catch up with like familiar faces and so on. But I see it as like a place to come between adventures. And that's a really important, I guess, epiphany that like, I don't know if Newcastle's gonna provide the adventure in life that I'm after. I don't know if the people here are sort of open-minded enough or interesting enough, or they're doing the sort of things that I want to be doing. And that's no offense to people that live here at all. Everyone's got their own path and everyone wants to be in a community of people that support the way they want to live and help them, and you can enhance each other's lives. But for me, I think I see so many people here and their aspiration is basically to work a job and have kids. And for me, that's just not it, you know? That's just not what I want to do with my life. Maybe one day I want to have kids, like maybe 40, 50 when I'm older, but it's not on the cards at the moment. And what I can see happening is my friends are going to increasingly grow older and become less and less available. And it's weird. Like, I see a lot of people doing things that I don't really get. Yeah, it's very, very much a rambling in this video, but yeah, there are a lot of people that their aspiration is to work a job and make 80 grand a year and have a family and just live a normal sort of life. And people wonder why the masculine is so depressed in today's world. And I think the reason is the masculine is lacking like the two things that make a masculine being happy, which for me, in my opinion, it's like freedom is a huge one and adventure is a huge one too. You know, masculine beings want to be free. And they live in a society that tries to restrict that freedom and that tries to put them in boxes. And most masculine beings aren't going to enjoy being put in a box. They might be persuaded to think they'll enjoy it, but they probably won't enjoy it. Especially as you become more conscious, as you grow and you become more, I guess, psychologically developed and you can think more freely, so you can think for yourself. You don't just mirror what your culture says. You can become more open to these sort of things. But as well, like the more you ascend in your own like development, I guess the more isolated you're going to be from the masses. You know, maybe going to the pub and talking about the football and so and so on loses its interest. Maybe 5 years ago, that's what you loved doing, going and getting drunk and watching the footy and going to the club and maybe trying to take a girl home or whatever. That was like a really fun night, when now maybe that's not it. Maybe you've ascended and you're interested in different things. And that can be difficult. So for me, that's the thing I find that's hard to relate. It's hard to relate with living in a city where most people just want a job and they want to have a family. They're not really doing anything interesting. They've got no big goals. Maybe their goal's to buy a house or something, you know. It's not really that interesting. When I'm starting to look at life increasingly like it's a role-playing game. So setting ambitious goals and then going and achieving them. And that's not just about money and status and all that stuff. Like, you get people saying, yeah, you got to make lots of money, have lots of status. That's one path, but it might just be you want to go climb a mountain. It might just be you want to go meet a cool girl. It might just be that you want to go and experience some cool things or travel somewhere or learn an instrument or play in a band or whatever. But I think, especially masculine beings, you've got to have some novelty in your life. There's got to be some sort of fun goals that you're trying to achieve, be that goals that make you money or goals that you just do for fun. And yeah, life really is an adventure, and you can make it an adventure. But you have to sort of divert from the norm, because society's just trying to make you a cog in the machine. If you don't take some like autonomy over your own life, then you're just going to become a cog. You're just going to be put in a box by society and you'll be filling out a role and that's it. So you need to have some free thinking about this. So yeah, freedom is important and adventure is important. And I think most people that are depressed, they lack both of these things. Yeah, most people that are depressed, you know, they've got no adventure in their life. They're probably overstimulated because they're watching too much telly and taking too many substances or whatever it is. So they're overstimulated, they don't feel good. And they just lack freedom. Like they're shackled to a desk or something, you know? So yeah, I think this is really interesting. And I mean, as I'm about to head off to Bali in a week, this is exciting. You know, it's an exciting adventure. I'm going over there with a cool person and we're going to hang out and go on adventures, and then my family are coming over, and it's just going to be an amazing thing. Yeah, so what do you think? Do you think life's an adventure? Do you think life is more of we're in like an orange, and by orange I mean like rationalistic world at the moment, where a lot of people are just trying to climb in whatever way. They're trying to make more money, become more successful, so on, so on. And that matters to a point, but I think you get to a point where you've done that, and then you can think more freely. So yeah, if you gained any value from this random video, then give it a like and comment and sub and share it and do whatever you want with it. Yeah, throw it out into the universe, because I make these videos because I want to help people. It's also, I'm planning to sort of make videos more about my journey, less than trying to just give advice. I want to sort of show you what I'm doing so that you can maybe resonate with that, because I've got a unique personality and some people would probably vibe with that and some won't. But yeah, I'm just different, I guess, in a lot of ways. So yeah, peace out and enjoy the rest of your day. Go on an adventure, do some cool stuff.